Right, my friends, let's make sure we have everything up and running here. Hopefully this is working okay. Right, my friends, let's make sure we have everything up and running here. This is working okay. I need to turn down the volume, obviously. So, my friends, how the hell is everybody? Hope everybody is safe and well. Welcome back to the channel, my friends. I have something rather nice and interesting for you guys today to take a look at. Right, so as you are probably aware, Giants Software released the John Deere 710 on the mod hub on Thursday with the launch of FarmCon 2022. So this is a classic John Deere tractor from 1956/1957. And basically, Giants went into the John Deere museum in Germany, and they scanned the actual real world tractor, and they created the 3D model based on that. Right, so they released it as a mod. I saw the mod. I'm a big fan of the old school kind of tractors. You know, you guys probably saw what I did with the well, not myself, but myself and my games team did with the Porsche Diesel tractor, which is I don't know if I have it installed or not. Which is this? So this is kind of the base game Porsche Diesel tractor by Giants. So as you know, if anyone, you know, I'm assuming you guys are aware that my games team put out a mod, and he basically made a very heavily modified version of this particular mod. Now I don't have the modified version installed, but you guys know what I'm talking about. At least the regular viewers who watch my kind of stuff and will know exactly what I'm talking about. So I sent the mod to my games team. I said, you know, can we do something with this? Can this be our next project? You know what I mean? What can we do with it? You know, how can we enhance and add new options and new features to the, you know, the base game Giants mod? Right? So last few days, back and forth, throwing ideas back and forth. We've been, you know, pulling assets together, looking at real world pictures and videos of the John Deere 710. You know, there are resources out there on the internet, you know, Google Images, YouTube, that type of thing. And so basically we have a heavily modified version of the John Deere 710. Now, disclaimer, my friends, what you're about to see is a work in progress. It is very beta. It is not finished. And there probably will be errors. In fact, I can show you that there is an error. So basically what it's saying is i3D offers 3 objects, but only 2 components have been loaded. There is a reason for that, because so my games team sent me the file today, and I've been tinkering with the file since then. And basically I've added this exhaust thingy here on the top, as you can see. Right now, the reason I added this is because in the real world there is an option. So this is kind of the way it came by default, right? So the exhaust comes out to the side, right? This is what Giants have designed here, right? So your exhaust will come out this way. But there are versions of the 710 in the real world where the exhaust is like this, and it, you know, it poops out smoke at the top. So I pulled this particular exhaust thingy here from another mod, just a random mod that I found, just plopped it in place. So this is not done, right? Just to be aware of that, you know. And basically what will happen is this will be another shop option, right? So what is going to happen is, right, you'll have a shop option and there'll be a visibility on and off type of thing, right? So this exhaust here will be, if you select this option up here for the exhaust up here, this will disappear, and vice versa, right? There's also going to be a cutout in the hood here, you know, the bonnet. So it's not there at the moment, as you can see. It's just kind of plonked in place. But there will be a cutout, a circular cutout around this here for the, you know, the exhaust to fit into the, you know, the engine, right? And then, of course, we have this section down here. See this section here? So this section here has to connect to that. Right? So we're going to have to create a 3D piece in Blender and have it connected like here, right? So it's not finished. It's just basically here for my game Steam, you know, to give him an idea of what I'm looking for, you know, and you know it will be a shop option. But as you can see, you know, it's throwing an error because it hasn't been properly placed. If that makes sense, right? So I'm going to take you through the mod. We're going to take a look at the options and that type of thing. And we're going to show you the kind of the differences between the base game mod and the My Game Steam version of the John Deere 710. Right. So let me just get rid of the mod here. Okay, and we'll start from scratch. Right. So once again, what you're about to see here isn't finished. So the mod icon isn't done either. You know, this is kind of a placeholder mod icon. So we have the John Deere 710. Once again, the image here may change as well. You know what I mean? So just be aware of that, right? So we have the John Deere 710. As you know, it was called the Series. John Deere 17 Series. Giants called it the John Deere 17 Series, but we've changed it. So the horsepower is 50, right? Now, we may add a chip-tuned version, which will basically give you a higher horsepower rating. So in the real world, my friends, as you know, farmers do tinker with their tractor engines and make them more powerful, increase the torque and, you know, the horsepower rating and that type of thing. So what I'm kind of considering is I'm thinking about maybe a chip-tuned version. Let's say call it unrealistic, whatever you want to call it. A chip-tuned version that would be something in the range of 62 horsepower. Now, I'm not going to go insane and crazy and add a 100 horsepower, 150 horsepower version because it's just not realistic. And, you know, I want I want to try and base the options and the specifications to, you know, real world, you know, situations. You know, we're not talking about putting a 1,000 horsepower on this thing because it's just not realistic, right? So 50 horsepower, manual transmission, 70 liters, 15 mph, 2.3 ton. I need to take a screen capture of that because I need to put the weight into the mod description XML. 2.3 ton. And now at the moment, my friends, we have just the basic standard Giants default wheel configurations, right? We are working on further wheel options. For example, we're going to have a narrow tire option for the rears, narrow twins, standard and wide, you know, that type of thing. We'll also be looking at possibly changing the design. You see the front wheel design here? Have a different wheel design for the front wheels. So basically, we're going to have more wheel options in the final public version, but none of that is in yet because it's work in progress. Because these are highly kind of, you know, these are customized wheels, and you can see the rims as well. They're specialized. And for a twin wheel option, we have to do some blender work to kind of create a you know, kind of a section for the twin wheels to go on the back here, right? So configurations, we have a front weight. So what happens is you have this now with the license plate. So this is kind of default Giant standard, right? And you have the license plate on the back. So this is what Giants put in by default standard. We've added this option. So we have a 560 kilogram front weight, 760, 1010. Now, once again, my friends, the weight of these particular, you know, the weight as in 1,000 kilograms, that may or may not change. We haven't decided yet. So just bear with us while we decide what's appropriate for this particular tractor here, you know. I'm not entirely sure if 1,000 kilograms on such an old tractor like this is appropriate. So we may have to reduce the, you know, the weight of the front weight, if that makes sense, you know. Because, you know, if it's too heavy on the front, it's going to cause problems. But anyways, look, we have three options. We have, at the moment, 560, 760, 1010. Okay? All right. So, and you have an object change as well, right? So that kind of goes on the front there, as you can see. Roll bar, brand new option, not available from Giants. Now, I want you to pay close attention to the interior here, my friends. The kind of the struts, the support struts, I guess you would call them. by default were actually built into the i3D by Giants, but for whatever reason, Giants chose not to implement a roll bar option into their released mod. So we've done that. We now have a roll bar, right? Okay. So we're using the existing, roll bar kind of connection points or struts, and we added a roll bar here. Okay. We've also added another option where we have a roll bar with rear lights. Okay. Now the cables are actually in place there. I don't know if you can see that. But the cables are there. So what I might do is, so I don't know if you can see that, but the cables are actually in the back. But what I might do is I might ask my games team to have the light cables or the runs, the cable runs differently. You know what I mean? I'll have to talk with him about that. I'm not particularly happy that they kind of go into the roll bar. I prefer if the cables were on the running down the outside of the roll bar instead of going inside, if that makes sense. But again, work in progress, right? So and then off, right? So that's kind of your options here. You have no, which is kind of standard, roll bar and roll bar with lights. Okay, all right. Warning signs. We have a warning signs. So we have a warning sign here. Okay, that's a prefab from the mod hub, right? So I'll have to credit the person who actually did that. The roll bar is also a prefab from the mod hub, but we've changed it to John Deere green. Okay, so obviously we'll credit these people in the credits in the mod description for supplying these things. So yeah, US warning triangle. Okay, hood ornament. So this is another prefab from the mod hub. All right. You can put the John Deere hood ornament on this thing, look. So we've kind of adjusted the size of the i3D to make it a bit smaller than by default. It has to kind of fit with the 3D model, So yeah, hood ornament. Shop option again. If you don't want it, don't put it on. Front fenders. So these are the original kind of Giants default fenders, right? We've added an extended fender option. We've kind of carried over the idea from the Porsche Diesel where we had an extended fender, So yeah, that's kind of that. I want to take a look at that. I'm seeing some texture differences between the extension and the original. So I'm going to take a look at that when I get into the actual game. So yeah, front fender option. Okay. Auxiliary seat. I'm going to show you up here. So by default, it looks like this. So this is the way Giants had it, like this. So you can turn it off now. None. Left, right, or both. So that's kind of a carryover of the idea that we had from the Porsche Diesel. We may add a seat. So we may add a seat as well. So some passenger seat. So what we could do here, my friends, I don't know how that would work. If we were to have a the passenger script, yeah, but where would the player fit though? So if you added a passenger script to this and had a player sitting on the tractor, like sitting on this side, how he wouldn't fit in. So I don't know if that's going to work out, but whatever. Look, I'll take a look at that and see what happens. I don't know. If we can try and get a kind of a passenger script thing in there, but I don't think a character, a player character would fit, to be perfectly honest. Anyways, exhaust. So we have added color options to the exhaust. So by default, the exhaust at the bottom here was John Deere green, but we've added color options. So we have so by default we have a kind of a metallic color. We have no, that's not it. Where is it? So exhaust color. We have stock, black matte, black metallic, metal galvanized, and what I'll probably add the original John Deere green as well. So the stock, no, the stock color will actually be John Deere green, right? And then you'll have options after that. So, but it's kind of the way it is set up at the moment. But I will add the original stock John Deere green color to the the options. But that's kind of the way we've chosen it at the moment. So yeah, you do have options, right? License plate is self-explanatory. Okay, right. Wheel setups, again, not fully in place. We just have the standard wheels at the moment, standard and white tires. Right? There will be multiple wheel options, hopefully, in the released version. So once again, this is kind of the way it comes by default. Okay, and this will be the next kind of option that we'll implement, which is the exhaust. So we're going to have an exhaust up here, and then the kind of the original exhaust down below will disappear. So it'll be a shop option and an object change, So when you select the exhaust, the other exhaust will disappear, visually. So it'll be an invisibility thing. I'm gonna get that. Give me 1 second there, guys. Right, excuse me. Right, so we'll take a look at it. Okay. Now, my games team has implemented other things in this, and I'm also going to take you through some of the other ideas that I have. So obviously, he sent me the kind of a work in progress beta file. I've had a lot of additional ideas to kind of add more things to the mod, right? And I'll go through my ideas with you. But for one of the big things I want to show you here, so my games team has implemented Simple IC. So I'm sure you guys are aware of Simple IC. It's a PC script. Okay, it's not on the mod hub. So I want you to pay attention to the bonnet here at the top, and watch what happens. Okay. See, can I get this? So I'm gonna hit that. I have to get up close. So I'm not seeing that. Let me turn on my help window. Let me check this now. So the keychain isn't materializing either. Right, let's see what is going on here. How do I turn this on? Oh, is it on this side I have to be? Okay, so that is not working. Now, it probably be because I have screwed things up. See, I added this. See, when I added this part here, I probably screwed up the i3D file because I've added this part. So just be aware of that. But basically, the hood here will actually come off. Now, I can't demonstrate that now because I'm going to have to load out of the game and download the original file again that my games team had. I'm going to have to do that because I do want to demonstrate it. So give me a second here. Clearly, when I added that part, I've actually broken the bloody mod because that should work. So let me download the original file that my games team sent me again, and I'll load it in. Which means I'm going to have to jump out of the game to load that in. So I guess what we're going to do is, hey, Iker Far Army, is that it? I apologize if I have screwed that up, sir. Do apologize. So look, guys, I'm going to have to exit the game, right? Because I've screwed things up. That Simple IC function should work. And what has happened is because I've added that bloody thing in the i3D, it's not working anymore. So we're going to have to make some adjustments here. Give me a second here. I'm going to have to load this into the mod folder again. So we're going to exit the game. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to get out of that. Quit. Yes. So we're going to have to reload the game, I'm afraid. So the screen will go blank. But please do bear with me while I do this. We'll load up the game again. Oh, copyright. God damn it, copyright. See? So this is the modified. So I made my own icon for this. Look, so you can see it says John Deere 710. So this is the file that my games team sent me, right? So clearly I've broken the bloody mod when I added that piece to the top of it. But luckily enough, I can just load it in again. Try it out again. So let's try this. So yeah, it's we're gonna have, you know, this is work in progress. As I said, it's very, very beta, you know. So right now I'm not gonna touch it at all. I'm just gonna load it in because I just want to demonstrate this. Right now we'll see if it works. Actually, we'll look at the log here. So you see the difference. See the way the log is clean now. So when I added the i3D element for the exhaust, I broke the bloody mod. See, look, it works. So yeah, so that's the simple IC function. So my game stream went into Blender, right? And basically, you know, you can see the engine out, and that's kind of what I wanted, right? So you can take it off the engine, right? And the fan is in there as well. And then there's an animation for it goes up and down. So I'm going to ask him to add maybe sounds associated with that, you know, the lifting off. So one of the things I suggested to him was, so it lifts up and disappears. But what I suggested to him was it would lift up, move to the side, and disappear. So what do you guys think of that? Do you think that's, or do you just prefer it like this? And it just goes down. So yeah, that's kind of a... So now you can actually see inside the interior and the engine. Look. And that if you watch real world videos, it actually looks like this. So you can see the spinny fan. Right. So here's the exhaust here, look. You can see it here, and it goes up here, and then into this section here. So when we, you know, when we implement this other option, which is this. So what will happen is we'll need a piece here. Look what happened. Look, see, I broke the mod. Look. Oh, it did go on. What happened? But you can see here. Look what I'm going for, right? So we're going to have this extra piece up here, right? Because there are real-world versions of this 710 where the exhaust is on top here instead of the side down here. So we're going to add a piece like this, right? And then we're going to connect here to here for the exhaust, right? So, but this is just, you know, this is just kind of here for, you know, a temporary thing, just to give the idea of what I kind of try and go for, as it were. So I'll put that back on again. See, anytime I do that, it's not loading in. Am I not close enough or something? Yeah, see, it's not working now again, look. Why won't that work? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it's probably because of this bloody piece here that I added. But you get the idea, my friends. You get the idea. Get rid of that. No. Which one is it? A narrow tractor to the grapes? I mean, it should work. I mean, this is a very, very small compact tractor. I don't see why it wouldn't be able to, you know, I don't see why it wouldn't be able to, you know, do vine work. And it's 50 horsepower, you know. A lot of the vine equipment is very low horsepower, especially with the new kind of Salic stuff that they implemented. So if I can show you, QR. So all this stuff is extremely low horsepower, right? So you could, this is a mulcher, right? It's your cultivator, you know, your plow, you know. So all this stuff is extremely low horsepower. You should have no issues using any of this with a tractor like this, you know, and you should be able to do your vine spraying. Even the vine sprayer should be very low horsepower. So this is no horsepower rating at all, but you'll need a, well, you can put it on the back. The Vine sprayer should be fine. Get the smallest trailer. All that stuff should work. See it there, you can do it like that. Is the volume too loud for you guys? Is the volume too loud? It's kind of a bit loud for me. Unfold that. Yeah, that should work. Should be able to run that no problem with that. I do know that John Deere have kind of narrow frame equipment in real life. See, any of this equipment should work no problem with the John Deere here. Yeah, you can do that as well. That's a little bit big for it, maybe. It's a little bit on the large side, but you get the idea. Right, so yeah, so that's the simple IC function that he's implemented here with the hood, right? So again, the animation is not final or anything, but you kind of get the idea of what we're going for here, right? Okay, so let me take you through some of the things that we've changed and some of the things that we're going to add to the mod. One of the things that we changed is the original Giants mod had a battery logo that neither of us liked. It was a Lizard branded battery logo. So what we've done, we've actually created our own logo. And this is a real world thing. So John Deere do batteries for tractors. We call their Strongbox. You know, they're branded Strongbox. So we created a kind of a brand new decal logo for the John Deere straw box here. And this is it here for the battery. All right. And it's very, very high quality. It's actually a 2K file. So we've designed it based on the real world logo, John Deere Strongbox logo. Another IC functionality that I want to implement into the mod is here. Let me show you this. So as you can see here, my friends, there is an axis panel here. See that axis panel right here? Okay. And there's a little door handle, kind of a handle, right? So what I'm going to ask my games team to do is I'm going to ask them to cut this piece out here in Blender, okay? And what will happen is it'll be another simple IC function. So there'll be an X like this. You'll walk up to the panel here. There'll be an X just under here, like here. You'll click on it, and that axis panel now will disappear. So you can gain access to the kind of the internals for maintenance and that type of thing. So that's another feature that I'd like to get implemented. So another feature that I saw real world videos. There are some hydraulic hoses which attach here, right? So there are attachment points here. And there are hydraulic cables that come down and go down here into the kind of the, this area here, which I guess is for the steering, right? So we're going to add the cables. 2 cables are going to be added here, and that will be for the, the turning of the tractor. Cables for the, the hydraulics or the, I don't know what to call it. What else am I going to add? Yeah, we're going to cut out a circular piece at the top here on the bonnet, and we're going to have that brand new exhaust. So this piece here at the bottom will disappear. So this will disappear. This piece here will disappear up to here. So all this piece here will go invisible, and then the top piece will be the exhaust at the top will be on it, as it were. internally. Going to add a John Deere keychain, right? So there is a when you turn on the engine, there's a key already in place and it turns, right? So we're going to add a John Deere keychain to the key, right? So that's another thing. What else is there? Obviously, we're going to be adding more wheel options. So as I said, we're going to have quite a few things to kind of add, and another thing that we did as well. I want to show you this. So in the original Giants mod, see this cap here for the the fuel. It was kind of a grey color, so we've actually changed that to metallic. Don't know if you catch that, but originally it was kind of a light grey color. We changed it to metallic, so the material of it has been changed. You can see it there. Look, so I thought it looked much better in a metallic color than what Giants did. Another thing we're going to do here, see the logo here on the side, it says John Deere. So we're going to add a piece here. So we'll either make the John Deere logo smaller or we'll add an extension piece. What we'll probably do is, see the John Deere logo, we'll make it smaller. So it's going to say Lands and then a dash. So Lands dash John Deere. So if you look at real world pictures of the 710, you'll actually see that on the logos. Right. So we're going to change that as well. So it's going to say John Deere dash Lands. Right. So that will reflect kind of the real world tractor again. What else? So what I want to change, I want to look here, I want to see what else is here. So yeah, so that's the exhaust there. The front fenders, the hood ornament, the warning triangle, the roll bar with lights, and then we have the front weight. So that's kind of all the options installed, as it were. So yeah, we have a US warning triangle at the back. Right, so as I said, that's a prefab from the mod hub that I found, and we implemented that into the mod for the US players who want their their warning signs. We obviously have the rear work lights. They work. They reflect on the ground. So you can see that the lights work. So you have reverse lights now for working at night time, that type of thing. Everything else should work. I would assume so. You can see the engine fan inside there as well, spinning away. We have our John Deere hood ornament. Okay, so this is a shop option. It's a prefab from the mod hub. The weight is another prefab as well. So we have a John Deere slice. I guess you can call it a slice weight, I guess, because you can change the kind of the weight of it. These are all separate pieces here, look. So you can add them and make it heavier and stuff. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. Not entirely. I don't think we're going to go for a hood. So I was thinking about maybe adding a hood, a hood on top. I don't think I'm going to go that direction though with this particular tractor. I know that is an option in the real world. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to add that or not. We'll have to wait and see. If we do add that as an option, we're going to have to extend extend upwards or add another piece to the top here because once you add a hood to this thing, it's going to conflict with the player head. So you'll have a hood on top, and then the player's head will be sticking out, sticking out over the top of it. So you'd have to add another piece here to the top of the roll bar to raise up the hood, as it were. That is an option. Certainly, we may do that. I don't know yet. I wonder why the light looks different. Why does the light look different on this thing? Why does the colouring look different? See the way the shade of green is different to the rest of the vehicle? I wonder why that is. That is very weird. I mean, it looks fine from here and this here. It all matches. But if you go into the shade, I don't know, maybe that's probably just the game, or the way the sun is in game or something. It looks fine outside. Just drive around a little, see what it feels like. So I guess with the weight, is it going to increase the weight of this thing? It does actually, look, yeah. So the standard weight is 2.3. You add 560, it's 2.9, 3.1, 3.3. So the weight does actually increase. I was wondering about that. So yeah, it's one ton heavier with the weight. So with the front weight, it should be 3.3 tons. I don't know what the limits of this thing would be in terms of equipment. I suppose we could try something heavy. That's 1.6 ton. It's 3.1 ton. Let's see what this looks like on the back. So, you know, you wouldn't be able to use this realistically because, you know, it requires a lot of horsepower, this particular plow here. But I'm more interested in just to see what it so yeah, you can see how heavy that is, look. So you wouldn't be using something like that, obviously. You could, ooh. Yeah, I wouldn't be loading that one up either. That is way too heavy. Yeah, she's sliding around. Yeah, that will not work. That's way too heavy. Way too heavy. So we're going to get rid of some stuff here just to clear things out. What else is there? What can we try? This will probably work. So this is 85 horsepower. I mean, that even wouldn't work. The weight should be fine, but the horsepower is just too much for this tractor. I just want to see what it feels like driving with it, you know? See will it lift off the ground and that type of thing. It's, you know, too heavy. So that feels okay. Alright. So she was able to do that no problem. So let me get another version of that one without the front weight. And, you know, see what happens. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, that feels fine as well. So basically, I wanted to test, is the front weight having a, you know, a real world impact, you know, but it is adjusting the weight of the tractor, so it will have, you know, an actual impact, if that makes sense. So I guess what we can do is, so this is going to look a bit dumb, but whatever. So yeah, one of the things that my game team said as well, that when he took, you know, he obviously imported this into Blender, and he said that it wasn't designed by giants for the, you know, the top of it to be removed, obviously. And when he did, you know, cut it out in Blender, the engine wasn't fully modeled, so he had to rebuild. He had to rebuild the engine because some of it wasn't visible, you know, from certain angles. So, for example, when I move around here, you know, the engine is visible from all angles. Because, as I said, my game team, he's actually had to rebuild sections to make that kind of a thing, you know. So there was quite a bit of work that went into that, you know, to make sure that you know, this was, you know, working properly, you know. Yeah, as I said, if you look at real world videos, you will see that this is a thing, and you know, where the see guys, you know, with the you know, the top of the, you know, the bonnet taken off to do repair work and stuff. So yeah, guys, that's kind of as I said, this is the John Deere 710. It's a work in progress. It's not finished, you know. A lot of ideas to implement yet, you know. So we're going to be implementing this new kind of upper exhaust thingy option, right? Changing the logo here from John Deere to John Deere Lands as an option, toggleable option. We're going to be adding cables for the lights here, cables here for the you know, the turning of the, I don't know what you call it, the hydraulic fluids or whatever the hell you call it. But then we're going to be adding some cables there. We're going to be adding a John Deere keychain. We're going to be adding a section here, so there's a maintenance panel here, right? So we're going to get that cut out in Blender, and you're going to be able to do like this, IC on and off. So it's this panel here, and you'll be able to remove that as well. So yeah, a lot still to do to the mod, but it's, you know, very much a work in progress, and you know, we're continuing with the project, and obviously we're going to have more wheel options as well. But there you go, my friends. Kind of a quick one from me to give you, you know, kind of an idea of what we're doing and where we're going with the My Game Steam version of the John Deere 710. We're also, and we actually have, we've improved the quality of the logos, the decals, you know, like the John Deere 710. The image quality of all these decals have been improved as well, you know. So it's going to be it's going to be a high quality mod once it is all finished and finalized. And yeah, I think you guys are going to like it, you know. It's good. I think it's going to be quite a big improvement of the kind of the base Giants, you know, model, you know, Giants mod. Anyways, my friends, we're going to leave it there for now and say thank you all very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I've no idea when this particular mod is going to be out. It's going to be for PC only. It won't be on the mod hub, just to remind you of that. You will need simple IC because of that, right? So just be aware, you know, you will need simple IC. And yeah, hopefully, you know, within the next week or two, we'll have the mod ready for people to use and download. And hopefully you guys enjoy it, you know. You know, we're putting our heart and soul into this mod, making sure it's error-free and high quality stuff for you guys, you know. Anyways, my friends, we're going to leave it there. So thank you all for tuning in. Appreciate it. And God willing, we shall see you again. Take care. Bye-bye.